Hey guys, it's Brett here, back for another workout, and this Tuesday is going to follow a similar format. So we have 6 movements. You're going to go through all the movements. I want you guys today to shoot for like a round. So I want you to give me 4 to 6 rounds of this, depending on your time restrictions. But try to get through a certain number of rounds, and always focus on form before intensity. So if you need to slow down your reps a little bit, or even take a little breather halfway through and then keep going. So our first movement is going to be a lateral lunge for 20. That's 20 per side. Then we're going a shoulder push-up or a shoulder press for 20 total. And that's going to depend whether you have dumbbells or kettlebells at home or not. Third movement is going to be a split squat jump, a squat jump, or a pre-squat jump, or what I call a pre-jump. Those are all 20 reps, and I'll show you the difference between all those. Just know that the split squat's going to be the hardest, then the squat jump's going to be the next hardest, and the pre-squat jump or the pre-jump is going to be the easiest. So if you have any like knee, hip, or ankle issues, I'd say go with the pre-jump. Fourth movement's going to be a hip flexor raise. This is more of an isometric movement, similar to that chest hold that we did yesterday. Fifth movement is a side star hip bridge, and then the sixth movement is going to be just your typical forearm plank. So our first movement, that lateral lunge, I want you guys to start with the feet together. So feet start together, and then you're going to step out into that lateral lunge, then back together. So we're going to go 20 one side, then 20 the other. Make sure that everything is staying square when you do this. I want to try to avoid rotation today. So when you go down, you're absorbing that fall and then pushing yourself back up. And notice the foot that's planted, that knee is pretty much locked out the whole time. So I'm literally falling over, catching myself, and then exploding back up. So on 20 of those per side, and then we're going to go a shoulder push-up or a shoulder press. So if you have a shoulder press, you can do these standing or seated, but you'll have the weight in hand and just your typical press straight up and down, always keeping the ribs locked in, right? I never want you guys leaning back or hyperextending through the mid-back. And then the other option, if you don't have weights, is a shoulder push-up. So what that looks like is your typical push-up, except the angle of your arm is now going to be more towards a shoulder press. And the way you do that is keeping the butt up high. So when you go down, bring your forehead to the ground and press back up. So when you do this, you're going to feel this a lot more in the shoulders or the chest. I want 20 of those, and if those are too tough, then what you can do is do 10, shake it out, do another 10, or if you have a bench or a table or something, then you can do the same thing where your arms are out in front of the body, you go down and then push yourself up and away. The key thing to remember is the arms are in front of the body. In a regular push-up, they're right below. So our third movement is going to be that split squat jump. So the hardest variation is just your typical split squat jump where you start one foot in front of the other, go down, get the knees close to the ground as you can, and then switch at the apex or the height of that jump. Second variation is going to be a little bit easier. It's just a regular squat jump. Keeping the knees out, chest up, and jumping. Always making sure to catch yourself in a good position. And then the last variation is going to be the easiest, and it's also going to apply to those who have any sort of like bumps or bruises. So what you're going to do is I want you to squat down all the way, and then at the top, go to the toes. So it's like you're trying to jump, but your feet aren't leaving the ground. So this is still going to get a little bit of explosiveness out of the movement, and train some of the ankles and the calves and some of the triple extension needed for jumping. So our fourth movement is going to be a hip flexor raise. So for this one, I want you guys, there we go. I want you guys seated on the floor. If you have a wall behind you, it works really well, but I want you as tall as you can. So you're pushing away from the ground with the hands, curl the toes back towards the head, and all I want you to do is lift one leg up as high as you can for 10 seconds. All right, so you're gonna hold that for 10 seconds, then you're gonna do the other side for 10 seconds. So when you do this, hands are on the ground, reaching as high as you can, try to keep your chest big and breathe. So when you do it, you might feel cramping in like the quads or even up high in the hip flexors. Super normal. It's meant to be a max effort lift. So just 10 seconds, 10 seconds, then you guys are gonna move into those the side star hip bridges. And that is something we've done before. You're in a side plank with the knees on the ground. And then as you go up, the hips shoot forward and you raise that top leg off the bottom leg. So you're getting hip extension and some of that abduction. And the whole time I'm keeping the shoulder out of my ear. So never crumple into the ground. Right? So you're gonna give me 20 of those on one side and then 20 of those on the other side. And then the last movement is just a regular forearm plank for 30 seconds to a minute. So if you can hold it for the full minute, more power to you. But when you do this, you guys are mostly familiar with it. I want your forearms on the ground, I want your toes on the ground, and then the whole time you're keeping your butt squeezed, tailbone tucked. What I want to avoid is this. I always want the elbows right underneath the shoulder. So try to get through those 4 to 6 rounds in a pretty respectable time. Try to time yourself, see if you can do better if you do this workout again. And have fun. I'll see you guys soon.